Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve and today we will be talking about which stocks and shares to buy right now. After the week we've had with the stock markets plummeting worldwide, I'm sure loads of people are wondering, is this a good time to buy when everything's low, or is this a good time to sell, or should I just wait and wait for how long? These are really important questions. This video is, I want to be clear, is just for education purposes only. It is not financial advice. It is based on my lived experience and personal opinion. But if you are looking for financial advice, please contact someone who's qualified and registered so that they can give you advice before you make any financial decisions. Okay, so ETFs. We're going to look at what is an ETF, where can you buy these ETFs, and how do you choose which ETF to buy and why. Those are the questions we'll be exploring. But some keywords to understand before we start are a stock, share, or equity. These are all the same, have the same meaning, and they mean ownership of a piece of a company. So when you buy a stock, you're essentially buying a portion of that company, and your investment can go up and down as depending on the company's performance. Some companies will distribute a portion of their profits to shareholders in the form of dividends. So dividends is the other word we need to be familiar with. So we need to understand what a share is and what dividends are. So what is an ETF? ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. So these are a basket or groups of shares so that basically that's the fund bit of it, and they're traded, which means sold or bought or sold on the exchange. So the London Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange. But why would you buy ETFs? Well, instantly by buying them, you've got diversification in your portfolio. Because it's a basket, it will include more than one company. If you were to buy an Apple shares in Apple and Apple went down, uh, that's a high risk. Whereas if you diversify by buying in loads of different companies, that spreads the risk. So you've got instant diversification. Also, ETFs tend to have low fees. These are like admin fees, and they tend to generally be quite low. And because they're traded on the stock exchange, it's quite easy to buy and sell, ETFs. This is, which is quite a good thing. So to buy and sell shares, you need to open a brokerage account or a stocks and shares ISA. Brokerage accounts allow you to buy and sell and hold various investments in them. So you can open these on various platforms, which we'll discuss later. And a stocks and shares ISA, which is an individual savings account, allows your investments to grow tax-free. I've made a video on stocks and shares ISAs, and I will put a link below in the description below so that you can delve a bit deeper into that one. So, excuse me, where can you buy these ETFs? Well, there are loads of platforms, online platforms that you can buy these ETFs on. Freetrade is one, and it's quite user friendly and is commission free. Trading 212 is absolutely excellent for beginners. I remember I used this when I first started learning to buy and sell shares and do some trading. Hargreaves Lansdowne is a bit pricier, but it's got loads of options and tends to have a very excellent customer care. So now that you're ready to buy, um, which ETF do you go for? How do you actually make that decision? This is what we're going to look at next. So, what do you consider when because there's quite a range of ETFs out there. How do you make the decision on which one you're actually going to buy? The thing you need to consider is, what is your goal? What is your goal for buying or investing? Is it that you want regular income? In other words, do you want dividends? Are you after growth? And which means are you looking quite long term? And long term in investment means 5 years, 10 years, very long term. It's not a couple of months. Or are you being defensive? Are you just looking to buy an investment which will hold up better when there's a downturn? So if you're worried about a recession, is it are you looking to be more defensive? So the dividends is the way I think of it is what you want to enjoy eating your cake. I personally invest in the VHYL ticker. The tickers are what you will find on the stock markets to describe the actual the ETF. So this stands for the Vanguard All World High Dividend Yield. So this looks at companies all throughout the world. So not just in Europe, not just in America. It does look at all the world and sees which companies would help it are paying out dividends, and it will look for the highest dividends yields that it can give you. For growth, the one thing to consider is what is known as the S&P 500. This is a stock market index that tracks the performance of the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. These companies include things like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and many, many more. These are the 500 top companies. I personally invest in the VUSA, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. This is the UK-based ETF, and it basically tracks the S&P 500. So it gives you exposure to 500 of the US's largest companies, all in one investment. So I don't need to go out and buy Apple and buy Amazon and buy Google. By just buying that VUSA ticker, I'm now exposed to all those companies. Some people would are worried, so they like or have a low risk tolerance, and so they like to buy defensive ETFs. So people are likely to keep need you win these ones are things that people are likely to keep needing. So it's companies which are involved in things like consumer staples or utilities, so that even if there's a downturn, people would still have to buy these things. And I've listed one there for you to look at. So ETFs, why we like them is because this is one of the easiest ways to start investing. Just remember that you need to know your goals, look for low fees, and stay consistent. When you're investing, it's long term. We're not trading. Trading is when you're trying to make a quick profit. But the most important thing is to just start. So thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up, add a comment, or share with others who you think would benefit from this as well. Thank you.